Right now, right now. 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 Oh, I got a real good feeling.
We try to bring you high-quality educational and informational content every single day. Why do you think the price is having such an anemic time? The news story of the hour. Jump onto the chart. Is this the beginning of a massive financial unraveling? We gotta add a little addendum to the show map today, and shall we start here on the daily. Now, we've been looking at the RSI on Bitcoin's daily chart for the last several days. It always has been, but it's been increasing over the last 50 years since the government has been getting bigger. Hey guys, what's going on? Jeff here, and welcome back to Coffee and Crypto Live. This is your week daily morning show where we bring you the latest in everything Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. And in today's episode, we are going to be talking about the massive movement that we are expecting to come to Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency space in as little as the next 6 months. Today, we're not going to be taking as much of a daily look on Bitcoin. No, instead, we're going to be looking out over the next 6 months and seeing what the next season for Bitcoin looks like. I am quite confident that a massive bull market is going to be kicking into full swing as we run into the next couple of months. And today, we're going to be talking about exactly why that is. But I have a question for you. What was your I've had it moment? When did you get to the end of your rope in your life? Because I think we all have this moment, or we're all going to have this moment, if we live over the age of about a week. You know, babies have this moment. I've had it. I want food, right? When was your I've had it moment with money? When did you have that moment that probably led you to this channel where you said, I am sick of it. I am so done. I am so incredibly fed up with being broke. I am so incredibly fed up with not being in the position I should be. I'm so incredibly fed up. I'm sick of it not being peaceful in this home because of money. I'm sick of wondering whether I'm going to be able to retire or not. When was that moment for you? Because that moment for me was a few years ago. And I tell you what, when I had that moment, my life changed for the better forever. Friends, there is a place for anger. There's a place to get a little infuriated, a little bit. There's this song that my son's preschool teacher told me to share with him. It's called No Monsters by Carmen. You should totally go watch it. It's hilarious. But it's about this kid, right? And he's watching these horror movies, and so the demons and the monsters, they come in and try and freak him out. He's like 8 years old, right? And in part of the lyric, he says, "I got righteously indignant, and I told that demon to get out of here," right? You got righteously, I am sick of it. I'm so tired of it. When did you have that moment? Or have you not had that moment yet? Have you not looked deep enough inside the way that your life works yet to have a moment like that with your finances? Because I had a moment like that. I've had several moments like that, but I can think of one in particular. Everything went wrong all at the same time, and I said, you know what? I'm over it. This changes now. My will, which I hope is a reflection of God's will on my life, be done. And you know what happened? That's when things started to change. Wow. When you will it, I will it, that this change. We just did a bunch of work on getting ready for our baby that's coming in at like 6-7 weeks, right? I looked at an area that we need to get ready. I said, it is my will that this be under control and that this be fixed. And you know what? 6 hours of work later, that area was under control and it was fixed. Didn't do a thing except fix this for 6 hours and boom, it's fixed. You can do that. If somebody hasn't told you that you have the power and the authority to do that, you do. And so today, as we talk about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and where it goes over the next 6 to 12 months and where it goes over the course of the rest of this decade and beyond, I want you to have that moment. I want something somewhat minor, but nevertheless infuriating to happen to you. You know, one time I was walking through a room and I smacked my ankle into something that was in the middle of the floor. I said, I've had it. I'm cleaning up this room. And you know what? Room didn't get cleaned up, but it will eventually, right? But you get my point, right? You've got to have that moment. When have you had that moment with your money? And if you haven't had that moment with your money, I am hoping that at some point you will have that moment where you say, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of being broke. I'm sick of not having any money. I'm sick of being in debt. I'm sick of not having retirement. I'm sick of not having any investments. I'm sick of my net worth being the same today or lower than it was 10 years ago, even though I worked my freaking butt off. Are you sick of it yet? You've got to reach that point. If you haven't reached that point, I pray that you will. Welcome to the Coffee and Crypto live stream. Today, we're going to be talking about where Bitcoin is going over the next couple of years and how we can most benefit from that upcoming movement. My name is Jeb McAfee. I've been working in the cryptocurrency space for about 7 years now, and it's my dream to help you attain something that I call financial sovereignty, which is a almost domination of your money. You are in control of it. You are telling it exactly where to go, and you set it on a collision course with growth and generosity. And I want to show you how to do that. We're going to be doing that today. And so if you're looking forward to today's stream, hit that like button. If you are new here, give me a hands up in the chat. I want to give you a special shout out and a special thank you for tuning in. Very, very blessed and honored that you would be joining us today. I want to give you individually a shout out for anybody who is new to the stream. The two old geezers went at it last night. They sure did. They were battling over a new pair of dentures, man. That bingo night was something else. It was like an anime showdown. No, I'm just kidding. It was you know, they talked about economic plans and abortion rights and I was kind of disappointed. There was no mention of crypto. And that's the point. There was no mention of crypto. There was no real debate on crypto. And so that is unfortunate. I'm hoping that there will be a mention of cryptocurrency in the next debate. But for now, no mention of crypto. So that debate didn't really have much of an impact on the US on the cryptocurrency market. That being said, we have seen an impact on the stock market potentially. Now, of course, the debate took place after market close yesterday, but this morning, market has rallied dramatically, and it's hard to point to anything else going on fundamentally that could have caused this movement other than the presidential debate. As I said yesterday, it's really almost completely unpredictable, impossible to tell what the market is going to do in response to the presidential debate. But so far, it looks like we're breaking bullish. Whether it's because of that or not, we honestly don't know. But ultimately, the United States S&P 500 breaking towards all-time high is a good sign. If you're not investing in the S&P 500 for retirement, I highly recommend that you do so after you've cleared all your debt and you're working on a budget and you have 3 to 6 months saved in emergency accounts. All right, so as far as cryptocurrency is concerned, though, Bitcoin is trading at $61,000. It is down 4.61% in the last 7 days. Ethereum down 2% in the last 7 days. Binance down 2% in the last 7 days. But Solana up 8% in the last 7 days. A couple of updates have come out to Solana recently, and that has led to some bullishness on Sol. But even though Sol is up 8% in the last 7 days, it's still down 5% in the last 24 hours, largely due to the market-wide correction that we've been seeing this morning. As the S&P 500 has been rallying, though, we've also been seeing a major drop on Bitcoin, which is paradoxical because normally Bitcoin follows the S&P 500. But as we've talked about, I think that this was a fake recovery. Earlier on this week, I called that it was a fake recovery, that it was not a true bounce, that it was dead cat, and I was talking about that on, I think, Tuesday's video. We were right here. Might have been Wednesday's video, actually. You can see that on our Daily Dose of Cryptocurrency series that goes out every day. So check that out if you haven't already. But we talked about how this was looking a lot more like a bear flag than a proper recovery. Bitcoin dropped here, let's see, $6,200 and only recovered about $3,500 to $4,000. And in grand total, the entire corrective movement thus far has been a $13,500 drop. Bitcoin's rallied 4,000. Definitely screams to me that the bulls are not in charge, that the bears are in charge. And if you fast forward to where we are today, then that seems to be the same case. We attempted to rally yesterday to no avail. Bitcoin has come right back down to baseline around $61,000. In my assumption here, not my assumption, but in my analysis here, I am thinking that we're going to have some bearish action over the course of the next couple of weeks. I don't think that we're just about to see a huge rally. That being said, as we talked about in yesterday's video, and as I will mention here, there was a report that came out yesterday from Reuters that we may be seeing the Ethereum ETFs coming online as soon as the 4th of July, which would be a week from yesterday. So next Thursday. If we do see the Ethereum ETFs go online on the 4th of July, that will likely lead to a lot of volatility in the market. Ultimately, we have precedent that it could cause a drop on Ethereum in the short term. The thing is, though, Ethereum is already in a correction. It's already considerably lower than where it was. So, Ethereum was up here at $4,000, all the way down to $3,400. So it is very possible that Ethereum doesn't go through a major drop, but at this point in time, our precedent tells us that it will, so that's probably what we're going to be looking at. Even right now, Ethereum, it finds itself in a bear flag as well. Very similar thing to what's going on Bitcoin, except Ethereum, because of the news that we saw of an Ethereum ETF coming online yesterday, or the day before, when we saw that, Ethereum jumped up here above its local resistance at 34.27. It's using it as support. But the problem is we're building this rising wedge, which also acts as a bear flag, and that bear flag would point us all the way down here towards $3,100. So I give it a slightly greater than not likelihood that next week we're going to see a drop on ETH and on Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin is going to be seeing the mid-50s. I think Ethereum could be seeing the low 3,000s. At the same time, though, I think the S&P 500 is going to be pushing on towards all-time high. So that gives you this kind of slingshot, right? If you take a slingshot and then you kind of pull back the actual sling, right? And you pull the slingshot away and you pull the sling away, they get further away, there's more potential energy, right? And so what we're seeing right now is that the stock market, which the crypto market closely follows, is in a massive rally that, to be honest with you, is probably just going to continue up and away forever. Remember, there are 100 million plus Americans invested in the U.S. stocks that literally have a tax incentive to not sell. They get penalized if they take the money out of their retirement accounts. So if they do sell it out of the retirement accounts, it sits there in money market for a little while, and then they end up redeploying it. So you don't see people taking money out of the stock market as quickly as something like the cryptocurrency market, because so much of the United States stock market is tied up in retirement, right? So the stock market is likely to continue rallying, and if the Bitcoin market continues dropping, then that means the difference, the disparity between the two grows, which creates this almost tension between the two of them. It creates this, like I said, this effect of having a bow drawn back or having like a slingshot pulled back that gives Bitcoin potential energy to go back into a rally. So in the short term, I am seeing that the Bitcoin market, the Ethereum market will probably go through a continued correction or at least sideways trading. I'm not expecting for a lot of bullishness to come out of them in the next couple of days unless we see a major, a major shift happen. That being said, if we do see a major shift happen, then, we will be ready for that with the price targets. But I think in the next week or so, we're going to see quite a lot of bearishness, quite a lot of sideways action. But from there is where things start getting interesting. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about where the market's going. If you are enjoying today's stream, make sure to hit that like button. Let's see if we can't get up to over 100 likes. I really do appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. Coin Operator said, hashtag FinSoft Friday. Good morning to you, Coin Operator. Good morning. Good morning from Tucson, Arizona, said Jay. Good morning to you as well. I've had it when my ex-wife took half of my 401k. Yeah, that's rough. That's really rough. Yeah, there's not really much you can do with that energy. That's just sad. I'm really sorry. That's a tragedy. Let's see. Philly Skills 1428 said, yo, what's up? Good morning. Good morning. All right. How can it go online on the 4th if the market is closed? Right. It probably wouldn't go online on the 4th. It would probably go online either the day before or the day after, but it can get approved on the 4th because a lot of times the SEC works straight through that kind of thing. All right, let's keep moving here and talk a little bit about where Bitcoin's going to be going in the next couple of years, because that's what I'm really interested in. Remember, our investment thesis, that if you follow, I think you will be in good shape. We invest in assets that we reasonably expect will be worth more in 5 years than they are today with a 95% confidence. 95% confidence they're worth more in 5 years today than they are now, and they're worth considerably more. In 5 years, I think Bitcoin will be worth a couple $100,000 at least. I think the S&P 500 could double in 5 years. I mean, it's going to be an absolutely crazy 5 years. You think that's nuts? You think the S&P 500 can't double in the next 5 years? Well, it's nearly doubled in the last 5 or 6. It might not double, but it'll probably be up 50 to 80% in the next 5 years. Right? So those are the assets that I invest in. When we get into real estate, I'll be investing in real estate because I expect that the real estate that I'll buy will be worth considerably more in 3 to 5 years than it is right now, including with all the rent income, especially not having to put a mortgage down on it because we're going to buy everything in cash. I don't do debt. Right? So when we look at this market, where do we think we're going? Well, in the next couple of weeks, we could be seeing some bearish action, but here's the good news. That's short term. I think that after the Ethereum ETF launches, which it will likely do in the next month at the latest, probably sooner than that, even if we do see a corrective movement out of ETH, what's going to happen is the RFAs are going to say, hi, investment, are going to say, hi, clients. Buy the living hell out of this. You know why? Because it's probably going to go back to all-time high. It's probably going to go a lot higher. There's a lot of people in the traditional financial realm that would be recommending things like Ethereum if there was an ETF. They've recommended Bitcoin. They've gotten really popular with their clients because they did that. Because Bitcoin's doubled since it launched. So even the people that didn't want to recommend cryptocurrencies now are very much wishing that they had. And so when you see the Ethereum ETF launch, it may take a crash first, because people are freaked out and they're selling the news, just like we saw with the Bitcoin ETF. But it won't take long for inflows to start making headlines. 100 million a day, 500 million a day, $1 billion a day. Huge amounts of money are going to flow into the Ethereum ETF. And when that happens, I think Ethereum will rally back above all-time high, which has not happened yet. But it'll rally back above all-time high for a multitude of reasons. There's a few reasons why Ethereum is likely to rally back above all-time high. Number one, Bitcoin already has. Number two, Ethereum is inflation hardened. If you go to Masari.io and you look at the Ethereum supply, what you'll be able to see is that Ethereum has a limited supply, just like Bitcoin. In fact, Ethereum is arguably as inflation hardened or more inflation hardened than Bitcoin because it's completely flatlined. In fact, the circulating supply is actually dropping ever so slightly. So that is going to help Ethereum reach back towards its previous all-time high. It's not going to be as hard for it to get back to its previous all-time high because of that fact. It's not going through a bunch of inflation, right? It's going to need to see a little bit more rally to get there, of course. We're going to have to add another, $150 billion or whatnot. But that's going to happen when you see the amount of money flowing in. Remember, $1 billion flowing into Ethereum does not equate to $1 billion in market cap. No, $1 billion flowing into Ethereum could send Ethereum $25 billion to the upside on market cap because it has to do with the buy orders and the sell orders. It doesn't have to do with, just one. It's not a savings account, right? Market cap is not a savings account. Bitcoin is not. There were not $1.2 trillion deposited into Bitcoin, or else there would be no room for growth. Does that make sense? It doesn't work that way. The reason people make money is because $1 invested equals more than $1 of growth in market cap. And so when we see multiple tens of billions of dollars flowing into the ETH ETF, that's going to send it on a skyrocket mission. And when that happens, Bitcoin's going to do the exact same thing because Bitcoin's dad and Ethereum's mom, and so whenever one of them takes off, the other one follows because they dance around each other like a couple of young lovebirds. And when they rally, the kids come too, because if you ever been walking through a store and you see the mom walking and they start walking away and the kid wants to play with something, you see the mom just be like, okay, bye. That's what happens with the Bitcoin and the altcoins, right? With the Bitcoin market and the altcoin markets. Bitcoin and Ethereum start rallying, and if the altcoins don't want to follow, they just say, okay, bye, I'll leave you in the store, and then they end up coming with them, right? They're saying, oh no, I don't want to be left behind, and then the altcoins rally. And so with Ethereum taking charge, going to drag the husband alongside Bitcoin by the ear, and they're both going to rally, and then it's going to bring the kids along with them because mommy and daddy are leaving. I guess I might as well go with them. And so you're going to see this huge rally coming later on this year as a result of the Ethereum ETF. When that happens, you're also going to be seeing something else happen, and that is the fact that Bitcoin has seen two major bullish events take place that are not over. The first, chronologically speaking, was the Bitcoin ETF. There is still an exuberant, an extraordinary, I should say, amount of wealth in the Bitcoin ETFs. Literally tens of billions of dollars in the ETFs. There might be over $100 billion that's managed in the ETFs now. Through Grayscale, BlackRock, Fidelity, especially those three, they've probably got about $60 billion under management at least between them. We also saw the Bitcoin halving take place. And as we know from some content we've done, the Bitcoin halving traditionally leads to a rally, but not right away. Oftentimes, it could take 3 to 6 months for Bitcoin to even get back to the level that it was at when the halving happened. No, it's in the it's from the 6 to 12 month range out from the halving when it really starts getting crazy. So what I'm telling you is that the halving took place not that long ago. Back over here. Halving took place. Takes about 6 months for it really to have a major bullish impact on the market. Fast forward like 6 months, you're looking at quarter 3, quarter 4, somewhere out here. You saw the Bitcoin halving come online. Well, if you remember the gold ETF, it took a while for the gold ETF to actually send the gold market to the upside. And then you also have the Ethereum ETF going online somewhere over here, right? We don't know the exact dates. These are just estimates. But you see how all three of them, the Ethereum ETF coming online and the initial boost like we saw from Bitcoin. The second wave of investment in the Bitcoin ETF, because if the whole market's rallying, then people are going to be buying Bitcoin hand over fist. And then third, the Bitcoin halving has taken place, and that is going to lead to medium to long-term bullishness on Bitcoin. All of these things are coming together in confluence later on this year at the same time that we're seeing a presidential election. And I honestly think the presidential election is probably going to end up being bullish for Bitcoin no matter which way it goes. Because I think that Gary Gensler is probably going to end up stepping down, even if Biden is reelected. Could be wrong on that, but I think he probably will. And then from there, if Trump gets elected, he's obviously made it very clear that he wants to clean house and, you know, be very, very pro-Bitcoin, and that would definitely send Bitcoin to the upside. So the rest of 2024 is looking to be a little bit boring through the summer, but it's also looking to be exceptionally bullish moving on into the fall and into the winter and into the beginning of next year. So pay very close attention to the cryptocurrency market. Continue making your investments, especially your retirement investments, in the cryptocurrency, in the stock market, and also put up to 5 to 10% of your retirement accounts into Bitcoin and Ethereum. Again, we're holding those for 10, 20, 30, 40 years. We're not holding those for a year or two. So if Bitcoin goes through a bear market, don't scream at me like, oh my gosh, my retirement's down. Yeah, well, you're not planning on selling it for the next 23 and a half years, right? So what do you care? It's going to go up. You're fine. Just be patient. We've got a track record here that we're working with. And then from there, when you're in step 9 of the FinSolve way and you're building extra wealth, you don't just have to put that into crypto, but I think there is a lot of money that you can make in crypto should you choose to do so. All right. Ryan Foshog? Ryan, I'm sorry. I probably butchered that. Ryan Fosh said, good morning to my brother in Christ. God bless you, Jeb. Good morning to you as well. Thank you very much for tuning in. Philly Skills 1428 said the family analogy. Laughing face, yes, I believe. We will have a marvelous Thanksgiving. Yes, this is going to be one of those Thanksgivings where you go home and you talk to family and you're not the black sheep because crypto's down 80%. You're going to be the popular one. You know, it goes back and forth. Every 2 years you're popular. Then for 2 years you're unpopular because, you know, you gave Uncle Joe some bad advice and Uncle Joe's bitter with you now because he lost his $73 in Bonk or whatever meme coin. You know, he bought Pepe at the top and now he hates you. So this is going to be a Thanksgiving where I think you're going to be quite popular because you're in crypto. Because it's been funny watching it go back and forth. There have been, when the bull markets are going, I'm Mr. Popular. Everybody's like, Jeb, tell me how to get in. How do I get into Bitcoin? And then you're in the bear market, right? And you've got people coming up to me, just like somebody died, like, oh, Jeb, I'm so sorry. Like, it's just, man, my heart goes out to you. I appreciate it, but I'm good. I'm okay. Nobody died. It's all good. I'm all right. So, you know, I think this is going to be a Thanksgiving where it's going to be, oh my goodness, you're amazing. Right. It's going to be one of those, which my family's not like that. But, you know, I know that a lot of families are like that. Are you surprised crypto was not mentioned once in the debate? Not really, because there are a lot of other issues that are more mainstream. You know, abortion with Roe vs. Wade being repealed, that was a big one that was talked about. You know, some of the dirt that was being thrown at Trump was like, oh, you appointed 3 justices. They all voted in favor of repealing Roe versus Wade. That's a big mainstream issue right now that was always going to get some attention. You've got the fact that both of them are the 2 oldest presidential candidates in the history of the country. And so that was always going to get a lot of attention, which it did. You're looking at economic issues in general, not just cryptocurrency, but economic issues. And so, you know, the inflation, the COVID-19 pandemic, the way that the Fed has done quantitative easing. And so those are all much more mainstream issues, even than crypto right now. Bitcoin is doing well, but it's not, and that's one of the things I'm trying to share with you guys. Bitcoin is not as mainstream right now as it was back last year, or not last year, last cycle. It's not as mainstream right now. I'm just going to delete all these drawings. It's not as mainstream right now as it was back here. Back here was more mainstream than it is right now. What? Yeah, I'm serious. I was here. I remember it. It was more mainstream back here. I was walking down the streets of Miami during Bitcoin 2024, and I had people rolling down their windows saying, Jeb, what's up, man? Like, I'm not kidding. This guy rolled down the window. Like, this happened like 3 times in like an hour. I'm just walking down the streets of Miami, close to Bitcoin 2024. These are people that are not even at the convention, right? I ran to a bunch of people at the convention, but these are people that are not even at the convention. Roll the window down. Jeb, what's up, man? I had one guy pick me up in his Mercedes and drive me a block just so he could talk to me. Right, I got in the car. I'm like, "What did I just do? Did I just get kidnapped?" And he just dropped me off. He was a cool guy, right? But but he's like, "Jeb, what's up, man?" Like, hi. He's riding by, and I think it was a Mercedes E-Series, right? But anyway, the point is, crypto was much more mainstream back then. Much more mainstream. Everywhere you went in Miami, now Miami's still kind of like that, but everywhere you went in Miami, there's a, there's an I Trust Capital ad on the side of the bus, and somebody's got a flag behind their jet ski, right? It was much more mainstream than it is right now. And so that is something to keep in mind, is that it's going to end up becoming more mainstream. It just hasn't really captivated the public's attention yet like it did before, but it's going to. It's not that it's not going to, it's going to. It just, Bitcoin's going to break all-time high, break the previous all-time high again, and it's going to start running. And when it does, that's when it's going to start getting really, really, really exciting, especially after the presidential election is concluded and the political winds die down a little bit, and moving into next year, you're going to see a lot of bullishness coming in that direction as well. They spent a minute arguing over golf. That instead could have been used for crypto, lol. Yeah, it's the presidential debates are just hilarious. They're hilarious. They're just so funny. They're just so funny. They're so funny. Guys, I do want to let you know that today's stream is brought to you in part by NordVPN. If you have not already signed up for NordVPN, you should do so to keep yourself safe. Here's the reason why. NordVPN is the #1 leading company in the world for providing security in the form of virtual private network access. They've been doing this for over 15 years. They're the biggest company on the planet for this. They are the most trusted, by far and away the most users. And they keep your IP and your online activity safe from spying eyes so that data thieves and cyber criminals can't steal from you. It's that simple. It's complicated technology. It's not simple. It's very complicated technology, but it's very simple to use. A lot of complicated tech comes together into one simple solution to keep you safe, and that's why you should sign up. NordVPN.com/Jeb. When you sign up using our link, you'll get 4 months free. So definitely check it out. Links in the description box down below. Too grumpy old man. Yep, pretty much. Let's see. Jet said, not necessarily you, Jeb. I'm not sure who you're talking about. All right. Good deal. Let's keep it moving here, guys. Let's talk a little bit about some of our favorite altcoins here. Cardano is down 1.15% over the last 24 hours. It's trading at 38 cents. We've got Polkadot up about 1.14%, trading at $6.35. Chainlink is up 1.38, trading at $14.37. Bitcoin Cash is up a little bit. Uniswap's down a little bit. Overall, pretty boring stretch here in the market. And so that's something that I want you guys to understand, that when the market gets boring, that does not mean that we need to step out. When the market gets boring, oftentimes that's when the most gains are to be made, is when the market's not doing a whole lot. And so I really want to encourage you, don't step away from the space just because the market's not doing a whole lot. The market is a fickle beast, and it can turn around very, very quickly. It can get interesting very, very quickly. And those of us who stay in the market when things are boring, those are the people that are going to end up succeeding the most when it does actually take off. All right. I do also want to let you guys know about a product that I am very excited to share with you, and that is Uphold's Vault. You see, whenever you sign up for Vault by Uphold, you are signing up for an insurance policy. This is the cheapest, most important insurance policy you could ever sign up for in the cryptocurrency space. You know why? Because when you lose a private key, you lost your coins. And if you lose your coins, you lost your investment. Not a good thing to happen to your investment. Many of you guys are whole coiners. You hold an entire coin. And should you lose that key, it's gone forever and you will never get it back. Ever. It's gone. Think about that. Swallow that. What happened if your key was deleted and gone forever? Now what happens if you have Uphold keep a key for you? Not enough of a key that they can access your wallet, but enough of a key that should you lose one of your keys, their Uphold key can stand in the gap, fill in the gap, and help you to get back into your wallet. That's what's possible with Uphold's Vault. Make sure to check them out. Links in the description box down below. Very inexpensive, but this is the most important insurance policy that you could ever sign up for in the cryptocurrency space for your Bitcoin. 30-day free trial. Make sure to check it out. Use the Uphold app on your phone, and you can get started today. All right, we'll read a little bit more chat. Silasy Borg said, Uphold is rad. That's right. So, yeah. Good, warm, humid morning from Hilton Head, South Carolina. Good morning to you, Oceanside Electric. We were just in Tennessee last week. It is extremely humid up there, to the point where there was condensation dripping out of our AC line. and I thought that there was a leak in the radiator or in the coolant line. It was just the condensation. We turned the car on, just sucked all the water out of it. It's crazy. I was showing my wife. I'm like, I think this is the cooling unit. So I took a bottle of water and dumped it out on the ground. I was like, look, there's even more water than the amount of water in this bottle of water. That's how much water is in the air. It's crazy. Like, I mean, to be fair, the Smoky Mountain National Forest is just there on the border of being a tropical rainforest. But yeah, Wisely T said, why is there a monthly charge for Uphold? Well, the reason that there's a monthly charge for Uphold is very similar to the reason that there's a monthly charge for insurance, because Uphold has to do work to ensure that their insurance system, if you will, stays active. It takes work on their end. And so, you know, it's not like the reason that it's a monthly charge, and it is a very low monthly charge, to be fair. It's $50 a year. Like, that's not much. You know, the reason that there is that monthly charge is because it's kind of like your insurance premium, if you will. You're spending a little bit of money to make sure that something that is really bad doesn't happen. You're spending $160 a month on car insurance so that if you rear end a Mercedes, you don't get, you know, a $250,000 bill, right? So the Vault, it's $5 a month or $49.99 a year, and that's because it takes work to uphold. I'm sorry, I had to do it. Pun intended. It takes work for Uphold to uphold the private key. It takes them, they are providing a service, keeping this extra key. So if you don't care about the extra key, don't sign up for it. But if you care about having an insurance policy in case you lose your Bitcoin, then this is why you ought to sign up and why, it's okay. It's not much. It's a small price to pay. Small price to pay to hold that key. We're so used to not having fees in crypto. In the stock market and the traditional markets, there are so many freaking fees. This is a very small fee to pay. This seems like a lot sometimes because it's $50 a year. $50 a year is not that much. It's really not. In case you lose your $10,000, $20,000, $40,000, $100,000 worth of Bitcoin and you're screwed, to have a key replace it, that's worth it. That's worth every penny in my book. It's to secure your cryptocurrency investment so you don't lose it, right? So, yeah. So definitely make sure you sign up for that. It's a good place to go. All right, guys, we're gonna have to wrap it out here in a second. I want to let you know that I love you guys and that I am hell-bent on helping you guys become financially sovereign. It is my dream that you guys would be able to build wealth, get out of debt, be free, and have that freedom that we have. We have no consumer debt. We have none, not a penny. We don't owe anybody nothing except our mortgage, right? And we're working on paying that off in the next few years. We have no debt whatsoever. It's a really good feeling. It's a really peaceful feeling. Because there was a time where that wasn't the case. There was a time where we did have consumer debt in different places. And just because we were foolish, right? I was foolish, mainly. It's a really good feeling to know, listen, there's no consumer debt. Don't owe anybody anything. We have no payments. We're working on paying off our mortgage really, 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 really early. Like over 23 years early. We're just dumping money into that. Just ham over fish. Just dump. Just putting so much money into that, right? Investments going into stock market. Investments going into crypto. And, today, our car went out. So, my son's here at the house because he's supposed to be at preschool, but our car went out and it won't start. I think it just needs to be jumped off. I had to get I have a jump pack. I got it back from my father. So, I'm going to try and jump it after the stream, see if it works. But if the starter's blown or if there's a fuel line jacked up, then we have no debt. Car's been paid off for years. I took a loan on it when I first bought it because I was under the impression, you got to build a good credit score. I made enough money the day that I bought it to buy it in cash. It was a $25,000 car. I made $40,000 the day I purchased it. Like, I did not need to take a loan on it. But we paid it off a long time ago. So, if it is messed up, all right. We got an emergency fund. We could budget for it. We wouldn't even have to draw from that, to be honest. We'd just cut back a few places. $400 on a new starter. Done. Is it annoying? Yeah. Is it crisis? No. Do I have to run it on a credit card? No. I don't have any credit cards. You know where my credit cards are? Where is it? I have my old credit card around here somewhere. Oh, it's over there. I'm not gonna go. It's over there behind the camera. It's cut up in a little baggie. Cut it up. We do everything cash. So that's what FinSolve Friday is about. I want you guys to succeed financially. I want you guys when what happened this morning? Crank, push the button, car. Doesn't want to start, doesn't turn over, just dies. Probably just the battery. But even if it's a fuel line or an injector or something, let's say it's a $1,000 repair. All right, here you go. Here's money. We got it. That's a good feeling. I want you guys to have that feeling. I'm going to show you how to have that feeling. And it starts with financial sovereignty. So stay tuned. We're going to continue teaching on that. Got a lot of content coming up right now. I'm going to be honest, my wife and I, we are really in get ready for baby mode. Right? We're not doing. We're kind of making sure that you guys are served with everything we're currently doing. All the growth's going toward making sure we're ready for this child. But we've got a lot of cool things that we're going to be working on later on this year, coming up into next year. We're making a lot of progress. We'll be sharing that with you. And ultimately, I want you guys to be debt-free, living on a cash-based system, living on a budget, being generous, having security, having peace. Because I tell you what, when we went into having charity, I was so. I'll say this, and then we'll wrap it out. When we went into having charity, there were so many things wrong with our finances. She's only a year and a half old, right? She's not even a year and a half old. This wasn't long ago. There were so many things wrong with our finances. There was debt here. There was lack of cash there. We were spending more than we were bringing in. It was a mess. It was a complete and utter freaking mess. And I tell you what, this is one of the areas where I had the I've had it moment. When I had a daughter, a beautiful, beautiful daughter, I'm sitting there holding her. And I'm worried in the back of my mind thinking, oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to provide for her the way that I need to because the money's screwed up. Right? I remember that vividly. And it was really hard. It made the postpartum period and the newborn phase a lot harder for me. We're going into having our baby Samuel, not having to worry about that. Scot-free. I feel so good. I have so much peace because we have worked our butt off following our own principles and fixed it. We've gone from being like $15,000 a month underwater to making, tens of thousands of dollars a month. We've completely turned everything around. Completely. Everything turned around in the last several months. In the last year and a half, 2 years or so. We were already in the process of turning it around when Charity was born. But we were still getting there. And so the last 2 years, we've gone from chaotic debtors to intentional investors again, and that's who we are. Because we made some stupid errors with money, fixed it. We're on path. Like we're growing a lot. Like I said, our net worth has increased by over 50% so far this year, and that's not just because of the appreciation of Bitcoin. That's because of the appreciation of a lot of other things in our life, from budgeting to investment to being debt free now, all those things. So very excited about the journey we're on. I want to continue to share it with you. I do also want to let you guys know about one of the places that you can go to increase your success in crypto, and that is crypto.com. Make sure to check out crypto.com. Links in the description box down below. They're trusted by over 100 million users worldwide, and I firmly believe that when you sign up for crypto.com, you're going to be getting access to some of the best software in the entire game, the best exchange in the entire game to do your investments after you're in step 7, 8, and 9 of the FinSov way, as myself and my wife are. So make sure that you sign up for crypto.com with a link in the description box down below. I hope you guys have enjoyed today's stream. We are going to wrap it out. But before I go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Oh, I got a real good feeling.